first, I'm going to tell you the rules. There's rules.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
there's a rule.
rule number 4 is no swearing.
Oh, well, actually, there's only 3 rules, but because of Niner, I've added a 4th.
Oh, what's the fourth rule?
Okay, so the first rule is don't interrupt each other.
Okay.
Second rule...
Wait. Can you repeat that?
Second rule is don't take over the talking. It's not just your show. 3 is try not to curse, because it makes more editing for me. And this is the new one. No clicky. With the keyboards and the mouse.
No,
I already moved my keyboard out of the way.
So then, should I play a clicky game?
No!
Oh, let's play Cookie Clicker.
do Osu.
Oh yeah, I can load up Osu.
Yeah.
Load up Osu.
Alright, Green, do you want to intro?
Yeah.
You can pull up our scripted intro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Greencat9, and here's my co-host, Cat.
He's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, no, that was almost exactly spot on with what we wrote down earlier.
Or maybe I should have done the other way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Stckmanninja, and I'm here with my co-host, Blue, and we have our special guest, Cat and Greencat here.
Hi!
Thank you so much. Oh.
Trying to do an intro here.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I breaking one of your rules?
Yeah, I have 4 rules, I'll have you know.
Okay.
Niner made one last time. It was kind of a truth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EvoTech Podcast, Episode 2. I am Greencat, and I'm here today with my co-host, Catisonline. And for this week, we have our 2 new guests. We've got the lovely, the handsome Stckmanninja, and the lovelier, but slightly less handsome, Bluewings.
Sounds about right.
Both of them stream on the EvoTech channel. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves a little bit real quick?
I'm Stick, also known as Stckmanninja is my full name. Yeah. That's me.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah,
That is it. That is his entire personality.
Uh-huh.
And I am Bluewings4. I stream on the EvoTech channel and am most notably known for being Stuart's content.
There you go.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
So
Stuart can't make his own, so he gets us.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 2 Stuart's main sources of content today on the stream.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask y'all today about if you have gone outside.
What
Collective.
The question is what entails outside, right? Is going out to get some like food or something considered going outside? Or do you mean going on a walk or something?
I consider any outside time to be outside.
Okay, I've walked to my car several times.
You've been outside.
Mostly, most of the time I go outside, it's to go to work. So I walk to my car that's in my front yard, get in, drive to work, get out of the car, walk inside because I work inside, and the reverse in sequence. Today I actually left to go to Denny's to get some food, not sponsored, and it was pretty delicious, if I do say so myself.
Well, I don't leave my house, but today I did water the plants that are outside, and I sat in the sun for about 5 whole minutes, and I felt accomplished and like I did something good.
There you go.
Yeah.
The sun is healthy.
Is it? According to famous
moderation.
man.
The sun is a deadly laser.
There you go.
In all
Heard it here,
directions.
folks.
I don't understand the reference.
Bill Works?
As I don't know the name.
Ah.
For how little I go outside, I also spend very little time on the internet.
Really?
Yeah, I actually don't spend a lot of my time on the internet. Most of it is asleep.
Okay.
Yep. No, that's it. That's
Okay, I feel like I'm hearing contrasting thoughts because I didn't think you got that much sleep, Blue.
You're right. I don't.
Oh no! So there's like gaps in your time that are just not happening. Are you staring off into the wall, or?
I think I just stop existing at a certain point of the day. Like, I just poof, I'm gone. I sometimes open my blinds, and I sometimes go out into the hallway to check my mail, maybe once every month.
I thought your blinds were covered by Capri Sun. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's only one of my windows that doesn't have blinds. The other one does have blinds, and then is also covered by a green screen as well.
Oh, I see.
But no, in all seriousness, outside, I take my dog for a walk twice a day. So I go outside.
Okay.
I walk around the block, and then I leave my house to go to someone else's house on the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Very fancy. That's a lot of outside time compared.
Yeah, I think you have us beat.
Comparatively, yes.
I specifically bought a house with a large backyard, so I could just let my dogs outside without walking them because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But they love it, so that's great.
Huh.
Actually, last Saturday, my mom actually got a puppy.
Oh.
So I went over to her house, and I got to play with the puppy, and it was great.
My girlfriend's roommate just recently got a kitten, like 2 months old, really tiny, sweet little baby. It's so adorable to see the videos. However, there's like stray cats outside the house, so like they bring in the scent of the stray cats, so the kitten's trying to like mark territory and does some no things that it's not supposed to do.
Got it. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so Green.
Yeah.
Speaking of your life.
Yeah.
So, do you go outside?
No, it's been a very... I've really noticed recently how little I go outside, because sometimes I'm like, man, it's 3 a.m. You know, I have class tomorrow at 9 a.m., but I'm hungry right now. I'm going to drive to McDonald's real quick. And then like I'm like, wow, I actually sometimes enjoy being outside, but then it's like 3 a.m. also.
Mm-hmm.
In McDonald's.
At night? Oh,
yeah.
Why?
I actually like going outside at night a lot more than I like going outside during the day.
Yeah.
I don't
Is that
like
temperature?
No, it's not. I don't think it's a temperature thing. I think it's just a relaxation thing. I don't like being around people that much. And, you know, it's a specific set of people that you can kind of relax with and whatnot. So, like, all of you guys I'm really cool with, and I've met you and I've talked to you. But if I'm driving during the day, it's a lot busier on the roads. You see a lot more people and whatnot. But at night, it's a lot more relaxing. You can play vibe music that's slow, and I don't know. It feels more relaxing to me driving at night is the reason.
It's also much quieter.
Yes.
I live in the city, and my friend lives like 20 minutes out of the city. The one friend I visit every weekend, we hang out, and I'll just find myself leaving his house at like 3 a.m. and just sitting like the front of my car and just like, wow, it is really nice outside. I don't like the city.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't like the sun, so you know that I like nighttime because the sun's bright.
It's a deadly laser.
The sun is a deadly laser.
Before I moved to college, I really loved 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. kind of drives because nobody's out. But because now I'm in a college town, it's like people are out. I see people on skateboards, you know, biking around, stuff like that. And I'm like, what are you people doing up? I'm the only one who's supposed to be awake right now. The other day, I went to the McDonald's and I got really mad because 2 idiots were walking through the drive-thru.
It's like going to Waffle House early in the morning, right? At like 2 or 3 a.m. And you're just like, why is it so busy right now? And you're just like, oh, wait, because I'm here. Everybody else also shows up at the same time.
Waffle House is one of those places that you don't specifically go to. You just find yourself there.
Very true. That, Denny's, and IHOP.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them. You'll just find yourself in the parking lot and say, I guess I'm here now.
Oh,
well, time to order pancakes.
I heard about Waffle Houses that they don't ever close unless it's a national emergency. So during a hurricane, they have like a backup generator and stuff. And so I was talking to Pump earlier, and he said one of his biggest fears is a Waffle House, but it's closed.
That's when you know the world is really ending. the Waffle House closest to my apartment is still open, and was open during the shutdown of everything back in like April, May.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
It was still open, and it was just like, we're only allowing 5 people in at a time, but you could still order food. Right? It was very, very concerning.
What an American ideal, though. Like,
Exactly.
oh no, we can tell this is a crisis right now because the Waffle House is not operating normally. What's the deal with this?
Waffle House having reduced hours. That's just uncanny.
That's when you know the world is like truly falling apart.
Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Waffle
go.
House is closed, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go to war with someone, and it's gonna be like missiles flying, and it's like, uh-oh, us as the Waffle House are gonna close, and that's the alarm bells, right?
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
The nukes start falling. All right, guys, last orders, then we're closing the shop for a week or two. Oh no, I guess we really are all about to die. All right, cool, sounds good.
I'd just make a new one underground, probably.
Oh, no.
You're right.
Yikes.
But I mean, like, on the topic of going outside, society doesn't want us to right now. Like, it is actively like saying, guys, stay inside and don't interact with other human beings.
Oh, for sure. I have no classes in person. I have 6
Mhm.
classes online. I have reduced hours at work. I basically only work once or twice a month. And then I also work at church, but it's heavily restricted. So I don't get social interaction very often unless it's through Discord. I'm talking to all of you right now. But real life people just do not be a thing right now.
All my real life people come from work. And that's fun.
Fun.
It's actually
Yeah.
That's actually very interesting because I work at an escape room, right? And I'm
Mhm.
still working 3 to 4 times a week. But, it's a small business, so there's not many employees, and you have to have somebody working and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's actually pretty busy. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for something to do right now just because they've been kept in for so long. They're like, let's grab our family, let's actually do something together. And, we sanitize in between each group, so it's not like terrible or anything. But it's just pretty crazy how many people are still going outside in this time.
Mhm.
Because not many people are used to the I guess I'm just not gonna go outside today mentality. Whereas like we are, it's like a normal thing. You're just like, all right, guess I'm not going outside today again. Let's see what's on Netflix.
My life has not changed drastically, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to ask a question. Ignoring the fact that COVID's like a bad thing, have you enjoyed having the time to just be inside more often than before?
No.
The problem with me is my family. I have enjoyed having my sisters. I've enjoyed getting to spend more time with them. But at the same time, it's kind of a lot. And there's no getting away from them. So if there's tension in our family, then you're around that all day.
Mhm.
I find that funny because I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's great being home by myself most of the time. But I'm just that type of person where I can be by myself in my house for a month straight.
See,
And not everybody is like that.
yeah, I've got like a contrasting opinion to a lot of you guys because I had finally started breaking out and doing things with people. Like now that I'm at college, right? Going out. Like I never really partied or anything like that, so I'm not really interested in doing the dumb stuff and being like those dumb people who are like, yeah, COVID party, woo. I had finally started like doing stuff every weekend with friends, like having people over all the time, things like that. It was weird because I kind of went back to past me, staying inside all day, just playing video games, all that. So it's been both nice but also like strange at the same time.
I'm on the same mentality as Stick. I am completely fine staying inside by myself. And I live in a studio apartment. My only rooms are the home and the bathroom. And there's a door between my bathroom and my home, and then the hallway. The problem with it is, now that I'm working at home, because I work for a call center, I have just my work computers right next to me constantly. And it is so, I don't know, it builds up anxiety whenever I just turn and see my computers and I'm like, I have to do that again tomorrow.
Oh.
Oh boy.
I get that feeling real hard. Like when I got kicked out of the dorms, I mean, you guys I probably saw the pictures of like my gaming mattress.
Mm-hmm.
There was literally no separation between work, play, and sleep at all. I was either laying down on that mattress or sitting at the edge of it, working on something or playing some games.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yes, I've definitely seen you lay down on that mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell asleep in it.
I remember.
There was like an EvoTech sleepover.
There was.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. I remember waking him up.
I was gonna say Hawk had also fallen asleep in the call, but at some point his laptop died and just he left me.
Really
I remember
sad.
getting home at like 5 a.m. and just like, why are you guys in this call? What is happening? It's very strange.
I mean, it looked like you guys had a good time by the way you woke up and then like looked around confused after we were yelling out your name.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going back to sleep. And you just left the call.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was so funny.
Oh. It was like interesting because Stu, I'd fallen asleep because it was one of the days Stu had like a lot of editing to do. It was around like his vacation time, if I remember right. Where he's like, he had to get like 12 videos or something like that done. So he had gone to sleep for like 3 hours and then woke up at like 2 a.m. I'd talked to him from like that 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m. for him and fallen asleep then. And so he was also one of the people to wake me up in the call. So it was interesting because I'd fallen asleep with him in the call and then he later woke me up.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, it's also funny because Stu was doing this thing at that time where he'd sleep for like a couple hours and then he'd wake up and be up for like 4 hours and then he'd ask us why he's still tired. And I'm
guys,
just like,
why am I
Stu,
still tired?
Stu, you haven't slept much at all. You're getting like an hour of sleep every now and again, and that's just not how sleep is meant to work.
I got a big concern for him because he was on par with my sleep schedule, which is it's that's a fun one.
Oh,
Maybe
you guys,
like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a week.
that's not enough, sir.
Oh,
And that's his majority of his time spent doing.
exactly. That and working. So 8 hours a day working, 4 or 5 hours of sleep a week. No, 20 hours a week.
Do you guys want to hear a fun story?
Sure.
Oh,
Yes.
my
Absolutely.
last like 2 weeks were like kind of a nightmare. Oh, okay. So basically, I mean, you guys have seen my room. My room and bathroom does not have like a door connecting, right? So it's kind of all
Right.
one room.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
like
you just have that curtain.
Yeah, right. So I leave stuff next to the sink because that's also like counter space kind of for my room. So about 2 weeks ago, I want to say at this point, I was going to the bathroom, right? As you do. And then I see to my right on the countertop, oh, there's a spider. Right?
Right.
I had a remote sitting on the countertop to kill, like, so I was like, okay, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to kill the spider with it.
Okay.
I start swinging at the spider, right? I don't quite get it, but I eventually use it to, like, push the spider into the sink, turn the sink on, send him to the drowning dimension.
Right.
As one does.
That's
Yeah.
one of those.
But then I placed down the remote, and, like, somehow it slipped down and into the toilet, right?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And it was gross because like I'd just gone to the bathroom and we don't have, because none of these people in this apartment believe in like owning rubber gloves to clean anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, big brain this. I'm gonna flush the nasty stuff down, then I'm gonna grab the remote out. I did not account for the fact that the remote would go down the toilet.
No.
Right.
So my next week from that point was me purchasing different dumb things that no normal person would have to try and get the remote from in the toilet to out of the toilet. I got like a plumber snake. I got like like those cameras that they do for surgery, like they stick it down your throat or whatever.
Yeah.
I got one of those. Like I had. So eventually, I'm like, okay, because the company that does the property management here, they'll take like a lot out of your security deposit if you ever need maintenance. So I was trying to make that like last resort. I finally like caved in. I was like, fine, I'm just gonna like contact maintenance. I'm sick and tired of not being able to use my own toilet. So the guy comes. He comes in, takes the toilet off. He's like, oh, I found it. Do you want it back? And of course, I'm like, no, I don't. That's been in the gross toilet for like over a week now. But first off, the dude literally covers a lot of stuff with the dirty, gunky gloves he had. So after he fixed the toilet, he just like left all like the dirt and stuff. He had slightly flooded the floor and stuff like that, and just left it all like dirty, right? But I was like, okay, in my mind, I was like, whatever. He completed his end of the deal. But then I go to flush the toilet, and it floods out the bottom of the toilet. He didn't even put the toilet back on right.
Oh no.
So I had to spend another like 4 days trying to figure out how to realign the toilet properly, and I eventually got like some sealant. Oh, it just was, the biggest thing I've noticed from this experience is anytime I mess up, it's never like a small little thing. It's always this big 2 to 3 week production of how is my life gonna suck, you know?
I mean, it's better than having a mess up every day then. If it's
All right.
like, all right, it's just once in a while I mess up, and then all of a sudden I have to fish my remote out of the toilet.
You know, this is actually a funny story because it's somewhat similar to a story my sister experienced once.
No.
I don't mind sharing it because it's really funny. So she was at volleyball practice. This was back in high school. She's a year older than me, so we're way out of high school and whatnot. But she had a phone that she was borrowing. It was my brother's phone, actually. He was like a year older than her. And it was like, when I say borrowing, I mean, he had his own phone. It was just like his spare phone, right? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't the most important phone, but she was in volleyball practice, and it was the only phone that she had to actually call and talk to people and whatnot. And so she went into the bathrooms, which is like outside the gym, and you know, like the toilet paper dispensers and whatnot.
Yeah.
She sets the phone on there, and then as she's changing, she sets her clothes on top of it. And then when she pulls up her clothes, she accidentally knocks the phone into the toilet, right? Which is just a problem in itself. And then she turns around, and the toilet is one of those automatic toilets.
Oh, no.
So she turns around, and it just automatically flushes on her. And she just watches it disappear. And yeah, that's the end of that story. We didn't get that back.
Oh no.
The toilet said thank you for the sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't have any, like, at least here in my apartment, I don't have any stories of toilets or anything like that. The only closest thing I have to toilet story is my toilet, which I haven't yet to been able to fix, is like loose on the ground a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sit down, it like hits the wall because it like moves a bit.
Mine too.
I can tighten it myself. I just haven't because I don't have the tools and or energy.
Oh, you need to call Greencat over.
Oh no.
He bought a lot of things.
Apparently, yeah.
Do you need a camera snake?
No, I think... Wait a second. Whoa, wait. Didn't you put that in your mouth?
No, I put it in my mouth before I put it down the toilet.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Good.
I didn't just like stick it down the toilet and then stick it down my mouth. No,
Well, it was like I think it was a call last week or something, and I was like, now that I heard the story, I'm like, wait a second, I recognize that because you were trying to figure out how to set it up for like stream or something along those lines, like setting it up so it could like Discord or see. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, yeah, no,
but I
we
just
were gonna
had
do
that thought.
a throat stream.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Did that happen?
No.
I do remember that
I
talk.
don't think that happened.
I was just curious.
Throat
But
stream.
no, like my first thought was just like, wait a second. Camera snake went down the toilet and was also inside green. That's concerning.
Yeah, no. Before it went down the toilet, I put it down my mouth to be like, "Oh, look at this. This is what it's actually supposed to be used for." But then I'm gonna stick it down the toilet.
How much was it? Was it
It was like
expensive?
$10 on Amazon. It wasn't anything like
No, that's not
major. Yeah.
Wow.
That's not bad.
You thinking of investing in a camera snake?
Now
No.
I am.
Okay.
All right.
That way I can sneak on when we eventually never get a EvoTech dorm room.
Oh,
I
yeah?
can sneak under the door and watch Stu.
Oh. Oh, concerned.
What
I'm also concerned about that.
are you gonna watch
What?
him do? Live stream.
Does it matter? Everything
Stu
he does
things.
is just Papega things, and it's
Yeah.
fun to watch.
I'm gonna watch do
Invasion of
things.
privacy.
It's more. It would be more about seeing his reaction to find out I'm watching him with a camera stick, and we tell him like we've been doing it for 24 hours or
Send
something.
Oh,
him
like that.
no.
videos of it incrementally, like at different points.
That's so scary.
Like, I'm watching you. Like from part of the window, from under the door. Just it'd be great.
He'd be so paranoid.
You would be.
And like send them as like Snapchat videos as all of them, right? so he can only watch it once
Coming
to
out.
like try and guess where it is without like that's like his one attempt.
And he's got it's a 3-second video. He's got 3 seconds to figure it out. He has one repeat, and
Yeah.
that's it. Right? That's all he gets.
Y'all are so into this, and I'm really worried.
You obviously aren't experienced with pranking Stu as much as I am. It's one of my specialties.
Oh.
I just feel like this is a serious invasion of privacy.
Well, not every prank is a serious invasion of privacy, but it's
But
this
this
one.
was-
only this one. Only this
I
one.
said if we lived in the same dorm or something of those lines, which we've talked about before, but I don't think it's that.
I don't think I was a part of those conversations.
Well, we
We-
talked about making like an EvoTech group house or something.
Oh,
I
yeah,
also
do
wasn't a
remember.
part of these
Yeah, no,
conversations.
it's been passing mentions.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone's.
Don't get people's hopes up.
No.
I'm
Probably
well,
not.
As I said, I don't think it would ever happen, but it would be hilarious to watch Stu if we did have one, and then watch him complain about it later.
Mhm.
On stream or on video because it has to be content.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Well, what's
we
the point of
make his
doing
content.
anything to Stu if it's not Stu content later on?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Do you think we do all this content for Stu's videos and streams so that way we get our content out there without having to edit it ourselves?
Yeah.
Don't
No.
call me out like that.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, goodness.
This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
The Among Us stream with Stu? Were y'all there for
Oh,
that?
I wasn't there for that one. No, but that was funny to
Are
watch.
you kidding me? I started it.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was my prank.
Okay, tell us what happened.
Okay, so you're doing your typical game of Among Us, and we're playing. It's 9 people in a lobby. I think it was 9. Stu stops for a second and says, "Well, I'm gonna go. Hang on a second, guys." And he's the only one streaming. And he's like, "I'm gonna go get pizza rolls." I mentioned to everybody, "Hey, we should all switch names." just to mess with Stu or something. So we kind of rotated names. It was Reckabilly's almost first time playing Among Us. It was his first session. CDF was there. I was there. So we rotated names. I switched over to Reckabilly. CDF switched his name to Stick. Pumpkin changed his name to CDF. You know, we had 6 of us at least rotate. 2 people were the same name, which made it extra confusing for us because we didn't know who was all who. And then we changed our color and our like customizable wearable items to be of the original person. So that way it would seem like we were all just normal. And then we played the game as if we were our character, not the person that we are currently like moving around. So I was playing as Reckabilly, and Reckabilly would do something, and Stu would call him out for doing something, and Reckabilly would have to explain it during the meeting.
Even though you were the one doing the actions.
Yes, yeah? Even though I was doing the actions. So it was really confusing, especially if you were still alive. Once you were dead, you could follow your own character, so you could kind of have an idea of what's going on. Yeah. So, for instance, if I died playing as Reckabilly, Reckabilly would mute during the discussion phase. I would still be alive and still be talking. Something like that, even though I was technically a ghost at that point. There were some really funny moments with it, where one of my favorites was CDF, who was playing as me at the time, you know, a minute in, goes and pushes the button in the center to call a meeting with everybody. And I had to explain my way out of why I pushed the button, because nobody had died. So I just said, hey guys, just checking in. How are you all doing? And Stu calls me out on it. He's like, wait, so you just pushed the button to ask how we're all doing? And I said, yes, I did. And then CDF, who was playing as me at the time, goes, you say that, but you were chasing me around. You were looking real suspicious. Claiming that I was chasing him around when he's the one playing my own character. And he was following his own character around to do this to me. And of course, we get through the round. It ties. I don't get voted off. It was really close. A little bit later, Pump, who is playing as CDF, pushes the button. Oh, no. So CDF has to explain his way out of pushing the button, why he pushed the button with nobody got killed. So I got to accuse him. It's like, no, tell us why you pushed the button. Tell me about it. No, tell me everything. It was really fun to accuse each other. Stu, we were finally revealed to him after 3 games when somebody had to leave. He was kind of like, he knew everything was just off, but he had no clue, and we just totally blew his mind. It was a really funny video. It's out on his channel now if you guys haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. And I believe y'all coined it as Among Us Roulette.
Yes, we tried to. We haven't done it yet, but we're planning on making it into like some kind of game mode of some kind where people roll as imposters and then play a normal game, and then those 2 people are the people that stay as their normal characters, and everybody else switches. So that way we can have some sort of randomization to it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like that only works kind of once when it's like a surprise. At least it's funnier when it's the first time with surprise.
I agree. It was definitely hilarious to confuse Stu. I also got to do a bunch of funny things with Rec because he was brand new. I got to ask what an imposter was in chat, and Stu answered the killer, and he was really confused. I got to kill Stu and self-report. CDF also claimed to have self-reported when he wasn't an imposter. Typical things you never see happen in Among Us.
That's like the intro clip of his video too. He's like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Well, I heard like the way you would play it is you would have 2 people go outside of the call, everyone else would switch, and these 2 people have to figure out who each person is.
Yeah,
and they have to do that before each other.
That is more of like the meta of it.
Uh-huh.
So you have to try and conclude who's who, which I think it would be ridiculously hard, just because you already know that people aren't themselves, right? Mm-hmm. But knowing who is where in order to see what just seems ridiculously hard from one point of view on a screen.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I feel like you would need some sort of new, like, program thing to randomize the people and, like, send each person, like, an individual message being like, this is who you are. And that way, it could even be randomized to a case where, like, sometimes it's you, like, you are yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, some people could be just themselves. That would, add an extra piece of it.
Right, because like, part of what added to that event specifically is the fact that Stu was still himself and was unaware, like, that anyone else was anyone else, right? Where if you add that random factor where no one knows if you got themselves, if they're pretending to be someone else, then that's kind of like brings the original factor of the sub game mode into it.
Yes, and it's a lot more fun for the other players as well, and not just the two people who didn't randomize trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That game really blew up out of nowhere, though. It was interesting because we had all, like, been playing it, like, 4 months before.
I bought it for pretty much everybody as, like, hey, I kind of want to play this game with people, like, every once in a while. And then all of a sudden, it blows up.
Yeah,
Great.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Blue got it for me. I wouldn't have been playing it at all if it weren't for that. So I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I wish
it was kind of weird because we all got almost burned out of it like a month before it blew up.
Yeah.
And then it blew up and it's like, oh, well, I guess we're playing it again.
And even now I'm still kind of burned out of it. I'll play it every once in a while with y'all, but like it's not like a thing I'll play often just because it is definitely it takes like having a specific group, I think.
Yeah. See, I bought it at the wrong time. I bought it for like me and like 3 of my friends. And then 2 weeks later, the Steam summer sale happened, and it was like $1 on the summer sale, and I was so sad.
Yeah. I try to avoid buying anything close to summer and close to winter. Because Steam is always coming out with sales. It's just like, again, that goes into the point of like, I never go outside. So I'm always looking at the games like, all right, what games do I want? What games can I wait to purchase? And what games do I want now? Right? It's like, it's great.
Are you 2 Switch boys?
I do have a Switch. Yes, I don't purchase a lot on it, or I don't play a lot on it.
I do not have a Switch.
Gotcha.
I also do not have a Switch.
Because I was going to ask if you were getting 3D All-Stars.
Probably not. I like the Mario games, but I was more of an original Xbox. Like, I grew up on the original Xbox and the Wii, but I never really played any of the Mario game. Well, I may get it for Mario Galaxy. That's my thought process. Like, I love Mario Galaxy, and that I haven't played really any of the other two. Because 64, I only played that on DS, and that was dreadful. And then Sunshine just never been anywhere else besides its original system.
Have they done a remake of any of the Mario parties somewhat recently?
Nope. They just keep releasing new ones, but there's never been a remake.
There's some like re-release on like ports over to other systems, but I don't think there's ever been a remake exactly.
Okay.
Mario Party's fun though.
Yeah.
I feel like the game has, like, before, maybe it's just my head, but I played back with Mario Party 6 a lot, I think. And then I played some of Mario Party 10. I think that was the one on the Wii, if I'm correct. And then there was the one on the Switch, which I played somewhat recently. Gotcha. And honestly, it was really hard to play on the Switch and actually be competitive because I'm a competitive person. And I know Mario Party is one of those games where it's like, well, it's not about being competitive, but it almost is because, you like to trash talk your friends with it and say, ha ha ha, I'm better at the mini games with you and whatnot. But there's just so much RNG in it now. It just gives a bunch of stars at the very end. It gives like 4 stars out to random players. I was just thinking about that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I never played really any of the party games because I never really. It's gonna sound real sad. I never really had friends.
Oh.
The friends I did have, I didn't really hang out with. It wasn't like I hang out with these friends outside of elementary school and middle school. I only saw these people inside school, and then I would play games by myself. I was always a single player game kind of kid, right?
Mhm.
And like Elder Scrolls and Fable and all the single player stuff, and then anything online, but never like any of the party games.
I love Mario Party 8. It is my favorite Mario Party game. So 8 and 9 were on the Wii, 10 was on the Wii U, and then Super Mario Party is on the Switch.
Okay, it was 9 then. Was the one that I played a little bit.
My mom and I used to play 9.
9's the one where it kind of starts to suck because they switch it up and have like the mini stars instead of where like you're all moving with the car as opposed to each having your individual roles and stuff.
Right.
Speaking of games, however, though, let's discuss the UHC. How'd y'all feel about it?
Oh, that was a mess.
I understand each of you were on a different team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me and Denise.
I had Fisk, who was a great partner.
And Green had Pump, and then me as a ghost. Who else was there?
Stu and Gabby.
Okay.
And Niner and Immortal were together as well.
Yeah.
I think that was all the teams.
And I think in the finale, the last two alive were... Was it you?
The last two people was Green and Niner.
Yeah, it was Green and Niner. I remember Niner because I remember yelling at Niner through the computer screen. He couldn't hear me, but I remember yelling at him just like, you were going the wrong way.
Oh, they spent a lot of time looping around.
Yeah.
Niner especially seemed kind of lost for a bit. Well, I guess he didn't know where Green was, but he was going the wrong way.
I was
a lot of the time.
hunting him down for so long at the end there.
Quite literally with a pack of wolves. Literally with a pack of wolves.
The last 15 minutes or so is me just being like, oh yeah, I've got this. I just gotta find Niner.
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding him at that point.
Yeah. Episode fun was a lot of excitement for me because I stumbled into a cave of invisible mobs. I don't know if you guys watched my video or not, but I heard a skeleton as I broke into a cave. So I put my shield up out of instinct, right? And I look over to the right and I just get shot at. So I see the arrow flying at me, but it came from nothing. And at this point, like, I don't know what to do because if I get off my shield to place blocks or something, then, who knows when it'll shoot again because I can't see it or whatnot.
Right.
And then it shoots again and it hits another skeleton. I don't know what happened. I assumed they started fighting. And then I'm still sitting in like the hallway and then a creeper just starts hissing. So I back up and start placing blocks and then I relogged and then I told everybody, hey, be careful of invisible mobs, which I'm sure set some people on edge. I'm not sure if it actually did, but I hoped it would.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was episode 1 or like partway through to between 1 and 3 somewhere. Denise and I know Denise's videos haven't come out yet because he's been working on the data pack and he has been editing. Denise and I got to the nether and found Pump, your teammate Green.
Mm-hmm.
Denise says, hey Blue, did you follow me into the nether? And I said, no. He's like, oh, okay. And then a few moments later, I see Pump has died. I'm like, whoa, okay.
So that's a fun to hear from you because also I had a similar encounter where Pump was like, oh, Green, did you follow me into the nether? I was like, no. Oh
no.
That's so fast to lose your teammate. Like, PvP had just been enabled.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
PvP had just been enabled. I don't think either of us were expecting to find any other teams at that exact moment. Because, like, it was definitely just oh, okay, I guess we're here now. I didn't have any gold either, so I didn't go into the nether after him because I was going to die by the pig ones.
Oh yeah. Denisi, I don't think had any gold either. I think Pump's plan was, because he had gold boots on, I think his plan was to try and run into piglins to try and get Denisi killed, but Denisi got him first and got the gold boots. But yeah, so that was episode 2 when that happened. 3 was very uneventful. 4 was when Gabby and Stu died to Stick. That's a fun clip to watch.
It was a lot of fun, actually, because Fisk had just gone to the bathroom, and I was out collecting clay for villagers, because there was a clay trade, to try and get some emeralds to trade for arrows and whatnot. So I was swimming in, like, a little pond next to the village, and then suddenly I just see arrows flying at me, and Fisk comes back waddling in or whatnot, and just says, "Hey, I'm back, how you doing?" And then he begins to say, "Wouldn't it be funny if a team attacked?" And then as soon as he said that, I just see arrows flying at me. And which point I was kind of like, I wasn't sure if it was a skeleton that didn't die in the night or if it was a mob. And then once I started swimming up, I saw Gabby and Stu running towards me. So I had to do my casual thing of placing bells before proceeding to murder them both.
That's awesome. Yeah, so then after that, it was you two against Niner and Immortal.
Yeah. So after we got back to the village after the long stew chase, we ended up back at the village. We spent the night there. Niner and Immortal, it turns out they were in the village too. They spent the night there. And so I get out of the house that we were in and I see them. And they saw us somehow and just started chasing us. And they just popped out of nowhere with diamond gear and netherite chest plate and scared me so bad. I wasn't really sure what to do. And Fisk had gone the other way, taking Niner with him. And I had Immortal running after me, relentlessly bashing me. He wasn't using his shield at all. It was crazy. And I tried to loop around an iron golem, but it didn't work. And I just got owned.
Oh, can I go on a side tangent?
Yeah.
Real quick, thinking of iron golems, there was a time where, so we were doing hardcore achievements. This is when I gave up, is because I'd gotten like 40 achievements in, right? And I was with Pump in a village, and a zombie was coming to kill him after he had just restarted. I hit the zombie, but an iron golem is standing right there, and like the sweeping edge on the sword hit the iron golem, and the iron golem just stomps me, and I was so mad. Anyway, I just thought of that because you said iron golem.
Iron golems are no joke, dude. That's why I was trying to loop around it, because I figured if he hit it by accident, he might just die from the iron golem. And you even take a bunch of damage from the fall damage they cause, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on that, I got 60-something achievements. And at the time, Donisi was at 98. And then I died, like, next to Donisi. We were both in the end. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing all that again.
I decided to not take part in the hardcore achievements. That was not
understandably
not something I'd find enjoyable, I don't think. I think I'd just get too stressed about it.
Yeah. So after that fight, we're sticking to Fisk, lost to Niner and WTF, but it was just Niner left. At that same time that I saw the death command pop up, like in the chat, like the death message, I'd seen both Blue and Denisi running in the distance towards the village. So I slowly approached them, but I guess from what I hear from you, Blue, you guys saw me coming up.
I saw you coming up, and I thought you were Fisk, because we were like, oh, they were near that village. We think they're near center, like Stick and Fisk. Or no, sorry, Stick and Fisk and Niner and WTF. Maybe we should take part in that, like actually try to take someone out, because at that point, we'd just been underground the entire time. We had been mining the entire time. And so we're like, oh, yeah. And I was hiding in a building, and I saw you coming up like, there's Niner. Because for some reason I thought you were Niner, and so Denise, you're like, yeah, and then we get close, you were not Niner. in fact you had become the Wolf King, and I was very afraid. was very great.
The one clip is really funny where it's me fighting Denise and Blue. It's funny to watch because we're really close together at one point. Blue tries to come in, but you just see 5 wolves cross the screen and chase after him, and then I turn to focus on Denise.
It went from one fight to 2 separate fights where I fought the wolves, Denise fought Green. It was I was scared. That was definitely an adventure, and I don't know how I feel about it.
That was a fun UHC, though. Surprisingly enough, not a single person died from natural things. Like, it was all PvP deaths.
Yeah, and that's always the scare in UHC, right? It's like, you never want somebody to die from a skeleton or something, because then they have all this footage and whatnot that just ends on a skeleton shooting you in the back or something depressing like that. You want to be in a combat.
Oh, yeah. Funny enough, I had done a UHC with Sean, where like the gimmick of it is the first person you find was your teammate, Godsend UHC or something like that. But it kind of flopped because there was only, I think, 1 or 2 combat deaths where everyone else died from just mobs. Funny enough, Pump was the first person I found in that as well.
I kind of remember that. I think he invited me to that, and I don't remember if I joined or not.
Mm-hmm.
There was a separate EvoTech UHC that was the same gimmick, where the first person you find becomes your teammate. In which case, that one I actually teamed up with Blue here.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. Sean did die from natural causes. I think he died to a baby zombie or something.
Oh yeah. Was that the one with the vampire bats?
No, it was the one where we built. You had a house on top of on the hill. You saw me running around the hill and you ran down and it scared me.
Oh yeah,
it was the one where Fisk couldn't find any cows.
I do remember that one now. Yeah.
So now he's known as the cow mass murderer because he's afraid he'll never see a cow again.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's where he got the title of that, and I think that was actually the first time we properly actually started like talking to each other afterwards.
Yeah, I was still pretty new to EvoTech back then. We did win that season because Fisk. What?
I thought we lost.
I'm pretty sure we won. Fisk had no enchantments because he didn't have any cows, and it was us v him, or maybe it was me v him. I don't remember if you were alive or not. Pretty sure. I could check real quick.
All the UHEs kind of blend together for me. The one I remember most is I stole Pump's horse at one point and then died. But the horse lived.
Oh.
Pump won.
And that's what matters.
That's what matters. The horse lived, I died, Pump won.
Pump was your teammate?
No.
oh, you stole Pump's horse.
I stole Pump's horse. We were not on a team. He killed me, and that was it. That's all I remember.
So you stole his horse.
I mean, it was a battle to the death. What else am I supposed to do? Kill him? No, I'm supposed to insult him and steal his horse.
I was looking up.
That's what my plan is.
For the EvoTech UHC on Sticks channel, I had found some other guy who had posted a video of a UHC, and I looked through it, and it was some UHC that Stick is in from like 6 years ago. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
How many people was in this?
It was
UHC?
a ton of people. It was like 40 or something like that.
That would be the Inter-Server Olympics UHC.
Oh?
Was it?
The Inter-Server Olympics UHC. So that was a series of multiple events that was going on. Multiple different Minecraft servers. There's like 10 or so Minecraft servers that all sent in participants from their own SMP. So I was in OmniSlabs. I'm still technically a member of OmniSlabs at the time. So I joined up with my teammates from that group, and we joined that UHC, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, do you care if I spoil it? Or
well, because I think I saw, did you guys win that one?
We did.
You just spoiled it. Dang.
I mean, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah, what
spoilers, by the way. I have it posted on my channel as well.
That was
spoilers. That
see.
was 6 years ago. It's like spoiling Star Wars.
But you know the ending. It's worth the watch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there was 35 people or so in that UHC. There was a lot.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see if we could get like those numbers of people. I mean, we'd need a server to be able to run it, but like those numbers of people for the UHC.
Oh, I think we definitely could.
We definitely could. I know plenty of SMPs that are still around. It's just a matter of scheduling, right? Do we have? Is there enough Minecraft servers or SMPs that are still active and around of people? I won't say our age, old enough to produce content similar to ours.
I'm still technically a part of Edgecraft.
Yeah, I was gonna say Edgecraft has combined with 3 other SMPs and created a bigger thing. We also know Wayside, so I feel like
it's about the scheduling though. So that group had 4 people per server, right? So how many teams can put together 4 people for one day, and it'll all be the same day, etc.
I would only worry about the server being able to handle that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, especially right now. I think it could happen, especially because like no one's doing anything right now.
And like worse comes to worse, I mean, you just enter your team with 1 less person, right? And it's just a disadvantage to your SMP, you know?
Yeah, but I guess it's and that particular event was multiple different games and various things going on. It wasn't just a UHC. I think there was actually 2 UHCs. That was just the first of them. I'm surprised that you found it by accident, though. That's hilarious.
YouTube recommended.
I guess they're. I don't know.
The algorithm going whack. How did you
always whack?
Come upon this?
Yeah, how did you find it from 6 years ago?
I have no idea. I was like, I'm trying to remember what I looked up exactly. Because I think
killed by me. Is that how you knew?
Well, because here's the thing: it wasn't even like your perspective; it was some other perspective. But they were showing the entire thing from like spectator after they died. So I'd like skipped to the last episode and saw that you were still alive in it, going against like that one person. It was something else. That's like really old. I was like, wow, look at that. Stick has been doing this for a while.
From like, I'll say 7 years ago to 4 years ago was kind of like the UHC age for me. I did a lot of different UHCs of different types, different styles, so I got to experience a lot with it, which was really fun. My first ones were just normal UHCs. Then there was a lot of different twists that we tried to put on UHC. We tried UHC Chaos, which was free-for-all version of UHC. However, it was encouraged that you tried to team with people and you tried to backstab people. Gotcha. So you could call somebody on Skype and have them work with you for a little bit. And then the idea is that at some point you elect, you know what, it's probably better if I don't leave this person alive, and you kill them, right? You kind of backstab people, and it's supposed to incite rivalries and conflict and whatnot. So it's called UHC Chaos. That was a fun one. Then there was the Inter-Server Olympics one, which was a lot of fun. That was the only time I've ever played a UHC with that many people. It was ridiculously long. It was that was 11 episodes for me at 20 minutes each. Then I went into I think it was an 8v8 UHC. That one was actually really cool. And it was, again, one server versus another server. You know, you don't get to experience a UHC where you're working on a team with 8 people. And it's a lot of different things that you have to think about in that type of UHC versus just a regular one. How do you divide up tasks? Who goes to gather food? Well, who goes mining for gear? Do we split into like 3 teams of 2? There's a lot of different things that you get to think of.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back, I think it was around September of last year, you Stick had a Chaos UHC of your own.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. It was a lot of fun.
There was a button involved, and
at the center of the map there was a button that would reset everything.
No. Oh no.
It wasn't on purpose.
Everybody pressed the button when they got to center. And then our defense was, well, you said it was a Chaos UHC, wasn't it? And it was fantastic. Nobody won. Well, everybody won except stick.
Everybody won except for me.
What happened to
I,
Stick?
I can describe what happened, right? So this is UHC Chaos, so very similar to what I had previously described, where everybody's trying, they can work together, but they could also backstab at any time, and it was encouraged and whatnot. And it's easier with Discord now, rather than back when it was just all Skype, because you can have different team groups, and then you can just switch whatever one you're in whenever you want to join somebody, and it makes things really simple. So I had set up the UHC. I loaded up my own server and set up the UHC because I wanted to do it, and we hadn't done one in a long time. I invited all my old friends, people from OmniSlabs, people like Hayden, who's one of our chat members now on Twitch, various other people, and I set up a bunch of command blocks at spawn to set up the UHC automatically. So it would set up the world border, it would have the world border reduce, it would spread players, it would give everybody saturation and instant health, all the typical things you want before UHC starts. I didn't use Denise's UHC box. I know, crazy. But it was because we wanted to be on the latest version or something like that. And so, after doing that, I went in, put a command block at the end. I copied all the command blocks over to the side, and I put a command block at the end to test, to have the last command block delete all the command blocks that were there, right? So that way it would not be there whenever we were all spread players. So we start the UHC, I push the button, everybody gets spread out, it's going decently. And then suddenly in chat, there becomes some kind of fight emerge, something about buttons, and I'm just really confused. I don't know what's going on.
I think it was EJ, Stu, and somebody else.
CDF was definitely involved.
That's right.
Because he's the button master now. Anyways, it turns out some people have built a house around the button, and they threatened to push it if anybody came close. So somebody came close. He pushed the button, which proceeded to spread players outside of the world border.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Killed them instantly. And the players that were still alive tried to sprint back to the center of the map where the button was, because I had messed up the coordinates on the last command block, so it didn't delete them. Push it again, and it was just a mess. It was so bad. It also cleared everybody's inventory.
Oh wow.
So that's fun. So nobody had anything at this point. As soon as the button was pressed, nobody had anything at all. I didn't know what was going on until I got to the center and I figured out. And at that point, what can you do, right? The UHC's already ruined. You wait 40 minutes and then somebody pushes a button clearing everybody's inventory, and it's like, well, now what?
All right, speaking of which, the sub UHC.
Oh no.
What happened?
I'm done hosting UHCs. I hate everybody. Oh my gosh. This is why I don't like hosting them.
Necessarily anyone's fault. It's just the server couldn't handle the amount of people, so it crashed for a second. But with the way Denise's system is set up, is that if people disconnect and are disconnected when the game should end, it will end the game, because there's only one player left technically from how the command block searches for it. So we all got disconnected, one person connected back in, and it said, oh, well, that person's the winner of the UHC.
Oh, who was it?
I don't even remember.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just curious.
Won, especially not me. I don't know. Well, it was more of a problem because as soon as somebody connected, it went into reset mode where it teleported back up to the center and items got cleared again. Again, I'm tired of hosting UHCs. I really like playing UHCs. I'm just a bad host. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's a host. It's just technical problems every time. Because, the UHC you hosted, the button didn't delete itself. And because of that, it became... It was no longer a survival games, and it became a who can get to the button the fastest. And then,
I'm glad you had so much fun.
Oh, it was wonderful. I died because I got pushed out into the void, but it was so much fun to watch. The mayhem ensue.
Yeah, I had died as well.
Oh yeah, and I think what finally broke you was like, all right, everybody stop. Okay. Click. All right, done. I'm done.
It was so bad.
It was wonderful.
I didn't know what to do. That wasn't supposed to be like this.
Oh, that's so funny.
It wasn't supposed to be this way. But I mean, hey, it worked out in the end. We had fun, and it'll always go down in history that CDF pushes buttons.
It just
pushes your buttons and in game.
It just goes to show that I prank myself extremely well.
Master of pranks. You even out prank yourself sometimes.
It's true.
All right, folks. Well, I think that is a good spot to end this podcast. Thank you all for coming out, Stick and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again to my lovely co-host, Kat.
Of course.
And my co-host, Blue.
You're welcome.
And we'll see everybody in the next episode.
You know I'm going to have to keep that in, though. Like the part where...
I know.
Stick...
Oh yeah.
Brought it up in the outro. Yeah, you have made it, so I need to keep it in.